saying he's drunk.
It's Monday, and you know what that means. It's IndyCar night on iRacing. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gonzo, and welcome to Raceford's coverage of Round 4 of Season 4 of 2022 of the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split, coming to you from the soon-to-be reconfigured again Texas Motor Speedway. As always, joining me in the booth for expert analysis from the NHR Esports team in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by Butt Kicker, is Stephen Larkamp. Stephen, Texas has been hosting at least one IndyCar race a year, every year, since 1997. Thankfully, that trend will continue for one more year in 2023. Why has IndyCar and Texas had such a long partnership together?
Well, a lot of it can be attributed to that Texas kind of fit really neatly into that mold that IndyCar was going for in the 90s, and it kind of stuck with it. It kind of stuck with a lot of the positives that kind of racing brought, but it was able to do it pretty safely after IndyCar started to transition away from the massive pack racing that we saw with the old cars, and even more so now with Texas Motor Speedway as it is. Right now, as you know, it's a very different track on both ends of the speedway. It's a flatter 1 and 2 and a higher bank 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is pretty much the original way that it has been for a long while, and Texas really, and because of that, races at Texas, they are still fairly close together, and they still get the turnout of a more marquee event compared to other IndyCar races. But really, Texas, it just kind of stuck with IndyCar for a long time, and I think, and even though I deride Texas Motor Speedway for quite a few things, but Texas, it has that longevity to it, and the fan base around it are certainly there to watch it, and whenever it does happen, and they're not getting held up by traffic around the speedway, which seems to be a very common problem here. But TMS, in its current state, the races are fairly close, but also they're fairly close races, but they do allow for drivers to have a little bit of a game plan going into it. You have to think about your moves here at Texas, but the racing is still very close. And that's something I think we'll definitely see tonight.
I'll tell you what, I am not seeing all the right names and everything in this again. It looks like... Who do you have at the top of the chart for you?
Top of the charts right now, Peter Kubuski, the Barbie car, up on the top of the board right now with a 24.513, and Antonio Estrada's number 25 sitting in P2.
Yeah, we're not watching.
To turn their laps.
We're not getting the right timing and scoring. So what we're going to do here, real quick, and keep talking. We'll go into the Be Right Back media, and we will quit this session, get out of it, and load back in. Because we are not getting the right names or graphics in the overlay, and I want to make sure that we do that. Otherwise, it's going to be an interesting night.
As Adriano and first Adriano Pinero, and now Jesper Orman jumps up to the top of the board right now. Drivers starting to put their fast laps in towards the end of the session with a minute to go right now, just over a minute to go in qualifying. And one thing that was made clear to me at Texas Motor Speedway tonight, talking to drivers like Mark Murphy and company, they were seeing some really off the wall setup changes here, because the consensus with the setup here this week is that it's not ideal, to put it generously, as Rodrigo Franzoni now goes to the top, the first driver to break into the threes, and a 3.39 at that. Amazing lap by Franzoni.
Yeah, here are all the IndyCar records you need to know here at Texas. Of course, Kart ran here once, and that ill-fated attempt back in 2001. That was a track record set by Kenny Breck, 233.447. The IRL track record is 225.979, set by Billy Boat in 1999. And the IndyCar track record, and now this is officially following the reconfigure of this track in the current state, is Charlie Kimball with a speed of 222.556. The career wins leaders here at Texas. It's Dixon with 5, Castronova with 4, Hornish with 3, New Gone and Power, Sharp, and Goodyear each have 2. And we'll get back into it here very, very quickly. Hopefully we get this overlay and everything working correctly, and then we will show you the race. I was looking at a race first card. I was supposed to be driven by one of my teammates, and the name on the screen was not my teammate. So we are gridding up here. Hopefully we are going to see the right stuff. And I am back into the session, so we will bring her back to, there we go. I see the Barbie car, so that's a good step. I see LGN's car back there, the Foyt Harrah's casino livery throwback, the number 14. So I think we're all ready to go for tonight's starting lineup.
And on the pole, Rodrigo Franzoni, the only driver in the 3s. That was a lightning lap for the number 9 machine. He'll be starting on the pole alongside Jesper Ormans, number 4. He's had a bit of up and down luck here at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's see if he can make it an up tonight. Adriano Pinero, one of the championship contenders, of course. He will start 3rd in the number 1, and he'll be alongside Cesar Monsanto in the number 15, a relative newcomer to our broadcast, I think. Chris Wilhite in the number 2, another strong championship contender. He'll start 5th alongside the Barbie car, Peter Kabuski in the number 6. Trey Shadid in the number 5. He'll start 7th. Alongside him, Adriano Verporti in the 8. Rounding out the top 10, Antonio Estrada in the number 25, and he'll be alongside the defending series champion, Mark Murphy. Doug South in the 26th. He'll start 11th, and he'll be alongside the 10 of Aaron McQuarrie. Matthew Mercer and DL Lemon will be row 7th, 13th, and 14th, driving numbers 12 and 20. Matt Chiaravalo, I hope I'm pronouncing that right the second time, in the number 24. He'll start 15th, alongside Cesar Cabral's number 14 in 16th place. Row number 9, Kevin Burrell, number 13, and he'll be alongside Beto Sousa in the 17. Rounding out the top 20, Yonata Martins in the 23, and he'll be alongside LGN, Luis Gonzalez Nunez in the number 7. That's 20th place. Cristiano Benavunto, the number 22 machine, will start 21st, and he'll be alongside the first of our and he'll be alongside the last driver to post a qualifying time, Bruno Romanzini in the 18. The remaining 4, Stephen Lee, Alan Morea, Philippe Radicic, and Jeff Murray. They have not posted qualifying times, and they'll start 23rd to 26th. We have a full grid here tonight at TMS. Let's see what they can do. And let's see if the drivers are, and talking among the drivers before the race was any indicator, let's see how long they can make it, because the setup seems to be very unpredictable, especially around turn number 2, reports have it.
Yeah, and we did the starting lineup graphics were all messed up as well, so I'm not sure what happened here, but had the right drivers, just not in the right order. So it'll all straighten out once we go green here. But we're watching Franzoni leading the field to green. Right next to him, friend of the program, Jesper Orman, right there, looking to get a good start. He says Texas is one of his favorite tracks. Of course, we've seen him win here in the IIS. He brings his IAR car just alongside the Bread King, Corinthian Bread King team car. They're getting ready to go green.
Franzoni bringing them down slow. 75 laps here. Green flag flies at Texas. And look at Pinero getting the jump right now on Jesper Orman heading into turn 1 as everyone's starting to scramble for track position. Pinero now moves up into P2 quite handily now as Franzoni gets a great start. Pinero now trying to run down his good buddy is now bad start, by the way, by Cesar Monsanto as Chris Wilhite gets a massive jump on them. He moves up to P4, and Monsanto trying to hold on to positions as he falls to the field. And I'm getting reports back there and towards the back of the field of some people having a tough time with tough times with other drivers right now.
Yeah, it looks like someone checked up at the start there. We didn't quite see it fully on screen, but someone did check up, and it bottlenecked the whole top row from about the 5th row on back.
Very rough start there for the top row guys as Mark Murphy moves himself around Adriano Verporti as we're looking to go 3 wide even. This is for P8 as, almost contact there with the front wing of Verporti as Murphy trying to make his way up through the field, trying to gain some positions. This is one of the biggest SOFs of the week. So these championship contenders, Murphy, Pinheiro, Wilhite, etc., they all have to get a really good run in tonight unless they want to try their chances at another strong SOF later on in the week. And looking behind him, Kubuski trying to look in the middle there of Mercer and Fraporti. That's for 10th place. As bad start there by Peter Kubuski right now. That is
I think it was in that top row that got hung out to dry there on the start.
Yeah, I think he was. And Kubuski just down in 12th position after starting 6th. And now he's under pressure from Doug South in the 26 machine. Lowest rated driver to make it into the top split, but given the SOF here, around just under 4,000 strength of field tonight, 26th in this split is pretty much number 1 in a lot of others.
Well, we want to give a shout out to Doug, a friend of the program, a former Hoosier, now lives in Australia, down under, and he is with that the Internet All-American Internet iRacers squad, and you can watch his teammates on tomorrow's coverage. He is Mitch Welker's teammate in the FIS. So Mitch Welker dominating the FIS right now. So we know that team is good.
Yeah, he certainly has been the driver to beat this season in that league, but that's a story for another night. As Pinheiro looking up towards the front of the field, he's caught right up to Franzoni once more, and Jesper Orman is definitely the interested spectator right now. He looks to the inside now on Pinheiro. Side by side in 1 and 2. Pinheiro getting the launch off the corner. That's the sort of thing that we were expecting to see.
Yep.
You get great momentum on the high side off the corner.
Well, we got the battle of the teammates up front. The Corinthian Bread King squad cars 1 and 2. IAR squad cars 3 and 4. And then we got Trey Shadid, who we know works with Mark Murphy. That's in 5th and 8th right there. So a lot of team cars up in the top 10 at the moment.
Very close bunch right now for this top 4 as Orman once again taking a peek to the low side on Pinheiro for P2. Not quite enough doing it there, as the rest of the field seems to be getting themselves spread out a decent bit, and everybody really taking their equipment pretty easily right now, it seems. Everyone seems to have caught on that the setup is a little bit loose on the exit
Trash.
Yeah.
That's how it's been described to a lot of us. Pre-race has been trash, dumpster fire, you name it. They have been all over. And the gearing's bad, they've said. You have to use the bars in a really, not the bars, but more like the weight jacker in a position where you hardly ever run it with this, since they've gone to this latest tire model.
Yeah. I mean, you were saying before we went live that some were considering going 1.6 on the bars and plus 20 on the weight jacker, which to clear up the techno jargon there, it's basically going extreme on both ends of the car on the bars and making the weight jacker entirely loose. So you have all the weight trying to get the car to turn. So
yeah, 1.6 is you're telling your car everything you want to do is push. I want you to understeer everything is 1.6 on the bars. That's a soft front bar and a stiff rear bar. And then the plus 20 on the weight jacker is actually getting that right rear all the way up in the air pretty much.
Yeah, just giving that one tire in particular the grip it needs, but at the same time you're preventing the car from getting loose on you. And everyone seems to have caught on to that right now, at least for the moment, as we're working lap 14 now. Franzoni still leading the way as Wilhite taking a peek on the low side in this battle with Orman and Pinheiro for P2.
We'll stick a pin in that.
Pinheiro.
Yeah, watch Pinheiro. Stick a pin in this real quick. I got to take care of some business because we had to take a little bit extra longer in terms of the pre-race the setup because of loading into the wrong session here. Hey, I just want everyone to know that you've all gotten better at subscribing to the channel now. Only 46% of you watching. Oh, Jesper!
That was close.
Oh, Okay, Jesper, once again, 46% of you are not subscribers. That's actually an improved number, but let's change that now. We need to get that number lower. So help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. You enjoy Race First coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split, and you respect the weekly stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you're supporting us best by subscribing. We have less than 55 subscribers to go to get to the magical 1,000 mark. So help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We cannot get there without you. There was a close one.
Did Franzoni just touch the wall there for a second? No, he didn't, but he came very close, and now Pinheiro right up on him now. Side by side down the front straightaway. Franzoni's going to have his preferred line in the turn one right now. Sorry for cutting in on that. But Pinheiro seizes the moment right now. He looks at the low side.
Wow.
Exactly what he needs.
Getting good rotation to turn underneath like that. And there he goes to the lead. The low line of 3 and 4 is the preferred line. Caution's out. And Philip Radicek. Philip Radicek on the backstretch. And I'm willing to bet where we see him resting is a result of what we've been talking about. Kind of. Actually, it's kind of contact with another car. We'll watch this right here. He's with one of the Scours cars, Aaron McCreary. And I think there was contact there off the corner and to the inside, and boom.
Yeah, just one of those racing deals. Radicic was pushing up in the middle of the corner, and unfortunately, tiny bit of net code involved, but it looked like it was still going to be contact regardless. And Radicic comes off the worst of it.
So now we're in a position where we're still early. If these guys want to pit here, which it looks like they are, it's still early. They're going to have to stop again or hope for a lot of caution. Anyways, as we're saying, we're watching them run down the pit row here. Just the best way to help the program is subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for weekly reminders, and make sure to click a thumbs up so you don't miss out on more future iRacing broadcasts here on Race First. Help other IndyCar fans find us, all that good stuff. We rely on you guys. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. And we'll get back into the action here.
Everyone in their pit boxes. Pinheiro down and away. Good stop by Chris Wilhite, it looks like, but not quite enough to gain a spot out of it. Franzoni and Jesper Orman still holding on to 2 and 3. And it says to me right now that
Kevin Burrell stayed out.
Pretty much everybody coming onto pit road. Tire wear is definitely a major consideration for everyone right now. This track seems to be eating them up.
Yeah, our man Kevin Burrell, we've seen him a lot on the IIS and Indy Open broadcast here on Race First. He is opted to stay out because it is early, and there is still these guys who just stopped. They're going to have to stop again unless they can massively conserve, provided there's a lot of yellow caution between now and the 75th lap of this race. The window to get to the end on one stop opens about lap 24, 25. So as you see here, guys, we're about 5 laps early at most.
Yeah, and of course, everybody behind Burrell right now for certain. They're going to be...
Stephen Lee coming down off the banking, coming back in the pit road to get topped off. This is not a bad idea. This is not a bad idea at all.
Especially if you're towards the back like Stephen Lee is, I would agree.
Yeah, this is not a bad idea at all.
Yep, get your fuel as high, as filled to the brim as you possibly can. Save yourself an extra lap. As Lee heads down to his box.
Jeff Murray, looks like Jeff Murray did the same thing.
Yeah, but Kevin Burrell right now leading this race on worn tires. So Pinheiro, Franzoni, Orman, Wilhite, Shadid, they're all going to have the grip advantage going to this restart. Burrell's plan is going to have to require the stars to align on this one. But strange things can happen in pretty much any race, let alone at a track like Texas.
Now, Burrell is definitely he does not consider himself the oval ace, but as you see here, his oval craft is improving, and the fact that he's in the top split here says that he has a high enough IR to hang with the best on strength of field night here on Monday night. Getting ready to go green, coming to lap 21 of 75 here on the Monday Night IndyFix Top Split.
Kevin Burrell leading the way. Pace car is down, waiting on him to make the move. He goes.
Good jump.
Pinheiro following him very well. Franzoni having a slow restart there. He's got Jesper Orman all in his wheel tracks right now as they head to 1. And a big checkup, it would seem, back through the field there as side-by-side stuff. Estrada and Chiaravalle.
Inside. Right to the lead.
Pinheiro back to the lead once more. Kevin Burrell, I think, realized that the grip was going to be that much more of a factor as Adriano Pinheiro once again takes the lead of this race. Franzoni looking to see what he can do. He goes to that high side.
All the different lines.
See if he can get the run off.
So many different lines going through turns 1 and 2.
And that's something I can definitely admire. Of course, in real life at Texas Motor Speedway, it's got more of that that adhesive substance that really only forces the cars to go on one line more often than not. Here, we don't exactly have that, so
to the inside
it
of
gives you a lot of options.
Yep.
Franzoni clears Burrell as Orman goes way up on that high groove right now. He sees Burrell struggling for grip. He's going to have to do that and hold off Wilhite at the same time. And what Burrell, if he can stick with this pack here at the very least and not lose a ton of time, and he doesn't, and we don't get a caution like he seems to be banking on, that could be a big game changer for him. Jesper Orman trying to take it 3 wide into 3.
Does he want to go 3 wide with his teammates?
Not always the most comfortable feeling, doesn't matter who you're with, but Jesper Orman, he will clear him right now, and Chris Wilhite will follow suit, it would seem. And he does indeed get by the 13 machine, Kevin Burrell, down to 5th.
Good battle between Bruno Ramonzini and Luis Gonzalez Nunez in the mid-pack. A little bit further up front, Mark Murphy gets around Matthew Mercer. Now
Next
looking at the back of his
Shadid.
teammate. Yeah, he's got his teammate right in front of him, and his teammate staring at Kevin Burrell.
Shadid staying right up with them right now. He's definitely within draft range. He's within striking distance of a lot of them, as Murphy now having to fend off a charging Matthew Mercer down into turn 3. Once again, as they head into 1, a little bit squeamish, it looks like, as Wilhite going way up on that high line, as now here comes Shadid looking down to the low side on Burrell. Side by side down the back straightaway. Burrell getting the launch off the corner there. Is Shadid going to be able to stick it to the inside? Yes, he is. Still holding it wheel to wheel.
Manzato Kubuski back here for P9 and 10 side by side through the tri-oval.
And Cesar Monsanto he's fighting with for P9 right now. That bright pink Barbie car trying to make up for a bad start. He clears Monsanto's number 15 is a little bit of momentum lost there. Now he's having to play defense down into 3.
Course
that
pink.
Low line is definitely preferred in this corner.
Yeah, turns 3 and 4, the low line is the way to go. Of course, pink is the color of the month. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. So make sure that with your cars, support your favorite, your mom, your grandma, your aunt, your sister, your girlfriend, anybody help with women's health. Support women's health and wear pink. Put some pink on your car. It would look good for this month during these races.
No doubt about that. We love seeing the Breast Cancer Awareness Month cars come out. We love seeing that pink. As now Kubuski gets himself on the gearbox of Kevin Burrell. Burrell really struggling on worn tires. This is really showing how much of a factor fresh rubber is and how much they are relying on it for pace. And if Burrell can, the main thing for Burrell, like I've said before, if a caution doesn't come out for the rest of this race, this can actually be a good thing for him. He'll only have to make 1 stop compared to everyone else's 2. But we'll have to see when indeed he does make that stop. We're within the pit window now firmly as Chris Wilhite now takes over the race lead.
It's just as he takes over the race lead, he lags out, but he's back. So it's now Wilhite, Pinheiro, Franzoni, Orman, Shadid, Murphy, Mercer, Kubuski, Burrell, Manzato is your top 10.
And here comes Orman to the inside of Franzoni down the backstretch into 3. Clears it handily going into the corner.
So right now, IAR is getting the better part of the Corinthian Bread King team. Shadid now's got a run on Franzoni.
Pinero all over the rear wing of Wilhite right now. He's trying to get
Franzoni pushes up.
Oh, as he loses that spot to Trey Shadid. Now he's going to come under pressure from Murphy and Mercer. And look at Murphy up on the high line in 3.
Yeah, he's making it work. I'm not convinced that Franzoni's car is behaving correctly right now.
It certainly doesn't look like it. Something seems to have gone awry with that number 9 machine. The way it's looking is not what he would normally do when everything's okay. Murphy gets the run down the backstretch, and Franzoni doesn't even defend all that hard, so I don't know if he's got damage on that car or if it's just ill handling, but something is not quite... There's definitely some trouble in paradise for Franzoni's crew. Even though he does clear Murphy in that instance, maybe he's gathered it up for the time being. But we will definitely see. Look at the lost momentum here. Look at Mercer getting the better of Murphy at the moment there. He's going to look to the inside of Franzoni in the 3. Not quite enough. Franzoni does clear him.
And Kevin Burrell now has fallen out of the top 10. Cristiano Benedito has gotten around him up to P10. So now Burrell looking to hold off one of our friends here, Antonio Estrada, in the race first car. Antonio, look at that, on the high side, just getting a massive run and putting Burrell back to 11th, now 12th.
Yeah, definitely. It really is showing how important fresh rubber has been. Burrell started 17th. He got himself up to the lead on the pit stop cycle, now back down to P11 right now. So that really is showing how important tire wear is this week at Texas, as now Murphy closing right up on Franzoni once again, going into 3. And I'd be remiss to not mention Trey Shadid, who has indeed gotten around Franzoni. He is staying firmly with Jesper Orman right now. This could be a really good showing for the 5 crew.
Yeah, maybe he can stay in their draft and get some mileage here. That's going to help. The less you have to put in the car to get to the finish, the less you have to stay in the box when you pit.
And look at Murphy now getting the run. He's got himself to the inside of Franzoni, still side by side
and
through the D.
He's probably going to tell, yep, he's going to call down to his teammates, say, stay low, give me the draft, help pull me along.
Oh, and look at this, 3 wide. Look at Kabuski up on the high line. Beautiful move there. 2 for 1.
And I think Murphy had to check up a little bit on that one. Not to mention,
I think he did too.
That's not a bad idea, to be honest. 3 wide, you don't ever like to hear that.
Yeah, it's never the most fun feeling at a track like this. Murphy, I think, had a bit of understeer from the cars in front of him. That aero push was really hurting him there. And Murphy just had to back out. And look at the same thing happening to Franzoni. And look at Murphy getting the run. He's already cleared him going into 3. And Mercer looking to follow suit.
Yeah, Murphy just turned down the banking underneath Franzoni and just moves right on by him. Franzoni now down 2 more positions. He is in 9th. Murphy up to 6th. Mercer in 7th. Excuse me, Franzoni is in 8th.
Look at Kabuski. He's now going around the outside of Shadid. Oh, he's cleared Jesper Orman. Look at this. Peter Kabuski on the charge. Absolutely beautiful stuff from the 6.
Jesper got mega loose there. We just caught it from the in-car with Kabuski as he was making the move on the high side. Now he runs down Chris Wilhite.
This may be the kind of stuff we're talking about with how the setup is driving, as Wilhite trying to look to the outside of Pinero for the lead. And now they've got a new challenger, Peter Kabuski, up to P3. This has been a massive drive from Peter Kabuski tonight.
Hey, real quick broadcasting note, if I can fit it in real quick. On November 19th, the Indy Open Saturday Strength of Field broadcast will conflict with the Open Wheels 500. So in an effort to remove as many conflicts as possible for the iRacing IndyCar community, Raceverse is looking to reschedule our Indy Open Strength of Field broadcast for that weekend. Options are to move the broadcast to Friday or to push the broadcast back a couple hours to later in the day on Saturday. We're currently discussing this with several participants right now on a Raceverse Discord server. If you have some feedback and you'd like to offer that, please join the discussion. An invite link can be found in today's broadcast description. Click on it, join, get into discussion. Thanks a lot. Now back into the action.
Will Height, once again, now under pressure from Trey Shadid. Shadid got around Kubuski that last lap. And here he comes once more. He lost that momentum that we were talking about before. Kubuski not quite close enough to get him into 3. Shadid still holding on to the position, and Mark Murphy has stayed ahead of Mercer, gotten around Jesper Orman. And we were talking about Franzoni earlier. Jesper Orman has just gotten freight trained himself.
Yeah, he had to lift. So he lost a lot of Big Mo. He lost a lot of Big Mo.
Oh, yeah. It really costs you a lot as Murphy and Mercer go side by side down the back straightaway. Murphy clears him, going into 3 once more, and Kubuski still hanging right up with them. This top 6 pack still pretty tightly bunched. Will Height using that higher line, trying to stay out of Pinero's aero wash and get the momentum he needs. Pinero, though, he's got that luxury of being able to pick the line as Kubuski behind them gets the run on Shadid, still wheel to wheel in 3 and 4. Can Shadid hold on to it? Kubuski still, he is going to lead him at the line there, not by very much. Actually, 1/1000th of a second, no less.
Watch the run, though. Kubuski gets on the high side here. Watch this.
Look at this run. This is the sort of stuff I'm talking about. He's really making that high line work for him. Peter Kubuski does clear him. I don't know if his spotter is telling him he's clear. He left that door open for Shadid once more.
Andy Dunwoody in chats calling these fighter pilots. Wow, there's a lot of similarities between what you see here in dogfighting, considering these guys are like mini jets with wings reversed.
Exactly, they're inverted airplanes on wheels. I always love to say of open wheel cars. Kubuski does clear him, and he gets the job done there. And the speeds, even though Texas is slower than it used to be, these guys are still doing upwards of 220 miles an hour going into 3. The lowest speeds I'm seeing is around 210.
Yeah, we could give you last lap speeds. Pinero 207, Willite 206, Shadid 206, Kubuski 206, Orman actually 208. So he's recovered. He's trying to reel these guys back in, but well into the 200s for most of the field.
Jesper Orman, you were talking about him a second ago. He's actually gotten around Mark Murphy. He's gotten himself back up into the top 5. Orman not taking all this line down, and Kubuski now under pressure from him. He looks, and Orman goes to the inside, and wow, he even got alongside Trey Shadid in the process. But once again, here comes that lost momentum.
Oh, and there you see Will Height getting low and going to help his teammate get him the draft.
Yeah, Will Height knows the team play game as well as any other, and when you've got your teammate behind you, you want to help them as much as you want to help yourself because you give yourself a wingman in the process. And once again, Orman clears Kubuski, but oh, look at this! Oh, massive check up there! Kubuski almost hit Trey Shadid. He backed out of it just in time, I think. Murphy and Mercer have both gotten around them, though. That is a lot of lost momentum, but a scary moment for both Shadid and Kubuski.
Yeah, that was a clincher for sure. but Jesper Orman now back up to 3rd as he's run these guys right back down, and he is that high line off of 1 and 2 is clearly the way to go.
It really is looking that way. That high line is definitely the preferred one. As
Murphy almost got the wall off of turn 2. Yeah,
that was. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're looking in the neighborhood of Kevin Burrell has moved all the way back to 23rd. He is back in 23rd spot. He has not stopped, but he is in the neighborhood of where he needs to stop. So he's on lap 53 of the stint. He should be stopping about any time now, probably in the next 3 to 5 laps for sure.
I would imagine those tires are probably screaming at him, pit now, I can't take it anymore. But it's kind of funny. I would probably have come in a little bit earlier in the stint and preserved the pace I was having by running the fresh tires a little bit longer, but running it a bit longer like he has,
26-second
it really
laps.
seems to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, 26-second laps. He's struggling right now. I don't even think he's turning laps at 200 right now, to be honest. But he is still on the lead lap, and that is key. Here he comes, 55. of laps under this current stint. Keep in mind, only that one 3 to 4 lap period we have was under caution, so he's looking to pit about any time here. Let's ride along board. You can hear him. You can hear him. He's in 4th gear. He's not even running the hard gear. Major lift in the 3 and 4. Okay, yeah, he's had enough. He's coming in. Burrell's pitting. Something happened to Luis Gonzalez-Nunez. He is out.
You mentioned 4th gear earlier. I'm noticing a lot of the leaders, in fact, running through 1 and 2, they're using 4th gear as well, and they're only shifting up to 5th, going through and going down the backstretch and into 3 and 4.
Another piece of the feedback we're hearing from the drivers is that the gearing is awful as well.
Yeah, but they seem to be, the leaders at least seem to have working their way around those issues right now, and they're using a pretty low gear setting in 1 and 2, lower than we normally see, at least on a lot of other tracks, and even here at Texas. 1 and 2 in 4th gear is usually a sign that things are going pretty slowly.
Philip Radicek is out. Luis Gonzalez-Nunez is showing as out. Doug South is back in 25th, a number of laps down. Had an incident. Not sure what exactly happened, but he is classified back in 25th. Kevin Burrell just getting off of pit road now. He's going to have the fresh tires. Watch him start scooting through the field now.
Yeah, watch this. And one thing I'm also keeping an eye on for is fuel for the leaders. Like we said before, that they pitted like 5 laps before we would normally expect. But the question I'm having here is, who has done the best job at doing a little bit of fuel saving as this run has gone on? We're approaching 15 laps to go in this race.
Height, looking at the outside. I got to imagine that any car behind Pinero's. Oh, Will Height just goes right around the outside and takes the lead. Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful move by Chris Wilhite, getting that lead. A move around the outside is never easy here at Texas, but you just saw it happen, folks. Pinero now trying to respond to that. Jesper Orman just lying in wait. Kubuski in 4th, Murphy in 5th, but that Chris Wilhite in the number 2 and Adrian Pinero in the 1. These two are perennial championship contenders alongside Mark Murphy last season. He's still doing pretty good for himself this season, too.
Now, I was getting ready to say, right before that move, that Pinero probably has the worst mileage of everyone since he's been out in the lead in front of all these guys and all these other guys behind him, and just kind of followed suit from the hole that he's been punching in through the air. So maybe Pinero decided that he's going to fall back a little bit, being 43 laps into the stint. And
maybe not. Look at this.
Maybe not. Well, maybe these guys don't really want to lead. I mean, we've seen races like that before, where the last place you want to be is the lead, and you just give it up. And maybe that's what he was doing, but it's a possibility. Here comes Kubuski on the outside. Now looking to the inside.
Gotten around Jesper Orman once again, Peter Kubuski has, and now he's right up on the gearbox of Pinero. He loves that high line. Look at how high he's running in 1 and 2. He gets a ton of momentum there coming down the back straightaway. And let's see. He'll stay right with Pinero. He'll catch his draft, and we'll see if he can catch up to them a little bit before they head into 1 and 2. That's really the way you stay with people, as once again, here comes Pinero to the inside on Wilhite.
Hey, I want to draw your attention back to a car that's passing Mark Murphy. That's Kevin Burrell. That is what new tires do for you right there.
Exactly. Kevin Burrell seizes the moment right now. He's waiting for... right now, he's banking on everybody else around him to pit to have a chance at catching back up. But these are the money laps right now for Kevin Burrell if he wants to make... If that really does happen.
Might have hit a little contact with the wall. I'm not sure, but he might have hit the wall a little bit as he went high to allow Burrell by. Burrell takes 2 cars down the backstretch. Now he's looking at the leaders, getting back on the lead lap. Burrell 1 lap down, actually 2 laps down, as we'll get him back 1 lap to the negative.
Here comes Pinero now, looking to the inside again on Wilhite. He got a great run off of 4, and he will clear him this time. So maybe he does want to lead us. We got 10 laps to go right now. We're keeping an eye on Kevin Burrell right now. And once again, looking at Pinero now playing defense once again. But getting back to your point about Jesper Orman, he did indeed brush the wall a little bit in turn 1 when he was letting Burrell by him. Now he's falling back into the clutches of Mark Murphy, and Murphy now goes down to that low side just as I say it. Orman, though, still working that high line very well. He clears him once more.
Now Kevin Burrell trying to find a way around these guys who are racing door to door. Well, that's a term not correctly used here, but they're racing side pod to side pod. And he'll take it 3 wide.
Will Height, he does clear him, it looks like. And now here comes Burrell down to around the outside. Will Height's telling him to go. He's telling him to get going.
Get going,
get going. Move. Let us fight.
Let's get the giddy up on. We are in the Lone Star State. Cowboy up.
And Pinero now down to the low side again. Will Height now has Burrell in the way. This can be a bit of an issue, I think. Pinero now once again in the lead. He has to play defense once more as Burrell kind of playing spoiler right now. He's like this is a situation where if I'm one of the leaders, I do not like this.
Well, it's 50. They're 50 laps into their stint. They're going to have to stop. They're going to have to stop here any time now. I do not see these guys going to be able to go to distance.
It's a big question mark right now as Pinero gets a great bit of momentum there as Burrell kind of threw this into disarray. Will Height lost a ton of momentum. And honestly, if I'm in the position of Will Height and Pinero, I may understand it, but I don't exactly like it very much. As we got 5 laps to go at Texas.
Who can go without stopping? Right now, everybody from P18 on up is 50 laps into their stint.
It's the big question mark of how well have they saved fuel. Can they indeed make it 4 more times around? Pinero and Will Height, they have about a 2-second lead back to Peter Kubuski in 3rd. Orman and Murphy and Shadid are your top 6. Burrell still kind of playing a spoiler role here tonight. Will Height I'm looking behind him right now. Will Height's losing a ton of momentum back there.
I think Will Height might have to. He might be conserving.
He might be. That looks like it could be the case. As Kubuski definitely pulling on him right now. He's half a second faster on that last lap as that number 6 machine. So we'll see if indeed Pinero can make it. 2 more laps to go. Oh, there was contact, I think.
There was contact. We heard it. We were riding on board. Pinero. There must have been a little net code or wheel banging going on there, and that's going to open the door for Will Height.
I did see a piece of debris flying off somewhere. It looked like it was from Burrell, but white flag in the air right now for Pinero. Can he make it? Will Height now seizes his chance. He's right up there. Looks to the inside to 1. Not quite enough.
He's going to get close enough to the 3. Not quite.
Murphy's out of fuel. Mark Murphy is out of fuel. That's just how close they are. Pinero coming off of 4. Can they make it? Pinero looks like he is going to get it. Adriano Pinero wins. Will Height 2nd. Kubuski will get P3. Jesper Orman 4th. And for 5th place will be Trace Shadid. But Mark Murphy, pretty much everybody made it to the end except for Murphy. Coasting around off of 4. Sadly, Murphy will fall down to 16th place. No, 15th place. Cesar Cabral is also out of fuel. He's coasting to the line as well.
Wow.
Couple of top runners tonight just got punished by the merciless gods of fuel economy. But Adriano Pinero has mastered it once more. Same with Will Height, same with Kubuski. They got there probably by the skin of their teeth on fuel.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's final classifications here before we move on to the interview room, see if we can talk with anyone and see how they did saving fuel. Hopefully the results overlay is correct. Yes, that does look correct. Adriano Pinero with the win. Chris Willite with another podium finishes second. Peter Kowalski with his first podium in a while here on the top split finishes third. Jesper Orman, despite getting loose at one point in turn 2, hitting the wall going into turn 1 at one point, brings it home fourth. Trey Shadid, he comes home fifth. Mercer 6th. Morera 7th for 48th. Manzato 9th. Martins, who we really didn't talk much about, finishes 10th. Murray 11th. Beto Sousa 12th. Benevito 13th. Stephen Lee 14th. And Mark Murphy, this might be the drop week for him. We'll see. But 15th, unfortunately, as running out of fuel on the white flag lap. Cabral 16th. And the remainder of the top 20, Franzoni, Romanzini, McQuarrie, and Lemon. And rounding out your 26-car field, Burrell looked like he might have had, if everyone had to stop again, was in a catbird seat, but relegated down to 21st, one lap down. Sharavaro, am I saying that right? Sharavello? Matt, hopefully I'm saying that right, and if I'm not, Matt, let me know, and let me know how to say it, and then we'll correct it going forward. My man Antonio Estrada down to 23rd, LGN 24th, 25th, Doug South, and 26th, Philip Radicek. That's the lone yellow of the evening. Okay. Wow. Let's take a look and see what we got going on. And we do have Chris Wilhite here. So let's bring Chris on up. And let's ask him about certainly having Burrell joining the battle there late, and how he was on fuel. So, dragging him on up. Hey, Chris, we got you here, me and Steven. First thing, how tight were you on fuel?
So I ran out on turn 2 after the checkered. But
okay, that's after the checkered, though.
Yeah, exactly. But that's okay. Yeah. So obviously it was a stretch there. And, if you're in the draft, you were going to be fine. And I decided to make a move, and I was sitting there wondering, wow, how did I get by Adriano so easy? And then I realized, duh, you dummy. Because he's saving fuel. So I eventually let him back by, and I was just kind of biding my time, wait until I was good to hit, the go button. And he had to save more because he was leading. So got back around him, and then at that point it was about tires. I mean, my right front was down to 40% on that last run. We're just toasting the right front there, but great race, and love to see kind of the strategy there with saving tires, saving fuel.
And also toward the end, Kevin Burrell became a player. He stayed out during that first caution. Actually went all the way to the back. When his window opened, he went ahead and, or I think when he got to the end of his tank, I think that's when he pitted, and then he just came out with new tires where everyone else has gone with extremely worn tires on the track. And I think by the time he got to you, things started to level out a little bit. Was that any role played in what was going on up front between you and Adriano, or no?
Possibly. I'll be honest. I think if he wasn't there at all, I may have been able to fight off Adriano, because I was just mirror driving him in turn 1 and 2, and it's really hard to pass here if you don't get the clean air. I don't blame Kevin at all, though, given the situation, because his tires were fresh. He had to go, because if we had a caution, then all of a sudden he's back in the game. Only thing I would have wished is maybe with like 1 to go, could he have just pulled over and let us go at that point and kind of fight it out. But perhaps a little bit of a factor, but with him on the fresh tires, I don't blame him.
Steven?
Yeah, and one other thing is maybe a factor in as well, because you mentioned tire wear was a big issue, as we certainly saw, but a lot of people seem to be complaining about the setup this week. What was your take on it?
Yeah, it was the dirty air is really bad in turn 1 and 2, and it's one of those where if you're in the second car in line, it's not too bad. Third car in line, if you're fourth car in back, you're just toast. So yeah, now I think I'll say this, I think the set raced decent, but that's just, I think, more the nature of the track and the tires wearing off. I mean, New Texas is a raceable track in these cars. I really enjoy it. So we maybe saved face a little bit there, but I don't think the package is the aero package is what we need to put on a better show.
Now, we were even hearing that the gearing might have been a little off. Did you find that too?
No, I was okay on the gears. They may have changed it a little bit because, even in the draft, you'd maybe get up to 6, but you certainly weren't redlining. So they may have changed it a little bit, but I don't think that was a significant issue. I think it's more the aerodynamic package they got on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's another podium. So, I mean, that is a great way to start the season, is all podiums across the board. Next week, we're going to Fontana, and it's going to be a night race, something that we don't see often at California Speedway, at least here on Indy Fix. Most of the time we cover it, it seems to always be a day race. It's going to be a night race. Your thoughts about moving on to California on next?
Yeah, I'm not great there. So we'll see how it goes. Fontana is going to be very aero dependent. We're going to fan out. You're going to see. It's probably going to be a good watch, right? Because you're going to see 4 or 5 different lanes in turn 1 and turn 2, guys trying to find the air. So we'll see how the set is. We'll see how it races. Different. Maybe there's a little bit more grip there at night. So we'll see how it goes. But great point start for us. I believe Mark Murphy had some struggles tonight, so we should have taken over the points lead as we sit. But yeah, still a great 3-way battle between me and Mark and Adriano as of right now.
Shout outs, anyone to say hi to?
Yeah, kind of quickly, IIR, those guys, Jesper was in there with me, had a good race going as well. Just give a shout out to you guys, Race First. You guys are doing a great job, and I look forward to rewatching it. That's all I got for tonight. Appreciate you guys.
All right, well, we'll catch you next week. Congratulations on yet another podium.
Thank you.
And enjoy the week.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, Steven, we have a little extra time, but final thoughts on today, and then what do you think next going to California?
Well, Texas definitely showed that you can still get great racing out of this place, even though we derided, but Indy cars at Texas can still be a good show, even with a setup that the drivers didn't exactly like. But I think a lot of them realized the situation with the setup. They realized that it wasn't quite to their liking, and they played really well around it. They were really adaptable, and that's what I love to see out of the competition here. It really is going to show that these guys, they don't just know how to drive one way, they can drive a whole bunch of ways. They can figure out a car that they don't like, and especially the fast guys, Wilhite, Pinheiro, Murphy, until he ran out of fuel, of course, Trey Shadid, and Kabuski, everyone there, they found their own way around the problem. They were able to adapt, and they got good results out of it. And next time out at California, a track that is a bit more predictable in some ways, but is unpredictable in others. You got the seams, you got the bumps, you got the high speeds at California, and it is going to be, I think California is personally one of my favorite tracks in terms of oval racing. So I think that can be a lot of fun in its own right, its own challenge, its own fun, and its own dramas. So bring on Auto Club.
I think California Speedway is a good follow-up to Texas here. Hey, again, a couple of things of pieces of business we get a chance to take care of because we started a little late. Pardon the technical interruption up front. We got that straightened out. But, hey, if you can show your long-term support of Race First and become one of our Patreon members today for as little as $1 a month, you can help support the channel now into the future. There are 3 tier levels to choose from. Perks include seeing your name at the end of every broadcast as part of the closing credits and special designation in our Discord server. As our Patreon membership grows, we will include other perks, so stay tuned and join today. Head on over to patreon.com/racefirst or click on the link in the description to pick your tier today. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Improper, Texas. Adriano Pinheiro holds off everybody. Chris Wilhite manages just to have enough fuel to get to the end, and Peter Kowalski very quietly with the king of the High Line here, getting all those runs on the Vectron, works his way up to P3 there in the pink car. That is your podium. Join Steven and myself again next week for round 5 of the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split of Season 4 of 22 at another oval not long for this world, California Speedway. It'll be a night race, so you know what they say about night races, right? Nighttime is the right time to go racing, and nothing looks better under the lights than IndyCars at speed. You won't want to miss it. Coverage as always begins around 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 8:15 p.m. Eastern, and you can find everything right here on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they are not easy and require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you a year of Indy Fixed action nearly commercial free. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our Season 4 of 2022 Monday Night Indy Fixed Top Split broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making it part of your Monday evenings each and every week. Moving on, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Racefirst with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below, let us know what you thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, you can always best support us by smashing like in the video, just like that. Thumbs up. That race deserves a thumbs up. And if you're new, click subscribe, and while you gotta hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of Racefirst's other iRacing programming, including Racefirst Formula Indy Series is this Tuesday at Road Atlanta, and the Indy Strength of Field at the improper version of Phoenix at night this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, with Racefirst coverage sponsored by Team Watson Racing Setups. Want to thank them. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Racefirst, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries, learn more about Racefirst and what we do, visit racefirst.com. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us via our Twitter handles right here at the bottom of the screen. In fact, we even got Justin's in this week. There you go. You can add Justin. He's the last one there. Hey. He'll join us next week. He'll be here next week, hopefully. But you can follow him tonight if you want to. So for Stephen Larkamp, everyone at Racefirst, I'm Gary Gotzel saying all good night. Thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and all of our first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again next week in Fontana for round 5 of Season 4 22, the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split. Good night.